Well, here we are again at 9:26, and the temperature at the moment is 13 degrees centigrade, and it's going to climb to 15 today. And we got sunny spells, and we're just getting one of them right now. Very nice too. The courthouse bathed in sunshine. It's a lovely sight. It's a magnificent building, a bit monumental, but nonetheless imposing, and so it should be, I suppose, a courthouse. Now, shall we risk taking me away for a moment? We can, I think, as because we've got something interesting to show you. I think. Yes, something interesting to show you. I think. There we go. Yeah. And tomorrow is All Souls Day, Halloween, and it is a religious festival, but it's rapidly become a very entertaining festival. And we very cognizant that it is huge in the United States. It is gathering pace here, and people are asking, his children are asking, can we go trick or treating? And in many parts of the country, it is said to threaten, or not threaten, but outpace bonfire. Not in Lewis, I may say. Bonfire is still king and is likely to be for a long time to come. It's so well organized. But it is in New York, and tomorrow we have Minister Conti, who is going to come and give us a report on what's happening there. Now, if you want to find out what's going on in New York or in America for one of their biggest festivals, tune in tomorrow morning around about 10:30, and Melissa will be striding the streets of New York, finding out how they are getting on. So do join us then. Oh, Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. How it's there we go. Right, and I think that we want to We'll move on to now, because the news is a bit grimmer than that. I think we need to shows just how desperate things are becoming in the world. But it's not working quite the way that it should. Yeah, there we are. Let me show you what we. Never mind. I'm here, and war is very much at hand. So let's go back, I think, to our blazing fire, which is much nicer than some of the things that we have on offer today. So let's launch into the news straight away. And the papers are split strangely this morning between the threat, really, to the world, and social news from Hollywood. But as one might expect, the Mirror would opt for the Hollywood thing, a TV legend tragedy, Our Best Friend. And it leads on its front page that stars pay tribute as Matthew Perry is found drowned in hot tub at just 54. Tributes are paid to Friends actor Matthew Perry, who died aged 54. They dominate several of Monday's papers. The Mirror says it is feared Perry drowned in a hot tub at his home in Los Angeles. Now, I thought this chap was a very good actor, and he certainly made me laugh. And there's a picture on the front page of The Sun with Jennifer Aniston, who also, I must say, turns me on. But why, when we are in such a parlous state, does the Mirror decide that the main story is a Hollywood star? And for that matter, I wouldn't have thought sort of a top liner dies in his bath or his hot tub. The Sun has gone the same way. Matthew Perry dead at 54. A friend to the end, it says. Star found in his hot tub. An iconic image of Perry makes drinking milkshakes alongside his friend's co-star on its front page. The paper says A-list celebrities, including Gwyneth Paltrow, have shared their heartbreak over his passing. That's great, but I don't see really the pertinence to world news. And the Metro has gone the same way. Matthew Perry, 1969 to 2023. We've lost a great friend. Yes, Metro says that soon after reports of Perry's passing emerged, fans left flowers outside the New York apartment block where he lived, and where, in fact, the series was set. The Times, it has got a banner the night Matthew Perry told me how lonely he was. At long last, it gets to what really is, sadly, the most desperate part of today's news. United Nations warning on Gaza as desperation stakes take hold. The Guardian, the United Nations says civil order in Gaza is starting to break down. The Daily Express, Middle East on a precipice. The Express says a warning from Iran, which said Israel sending ground troops into Gaza crossed red lines. Daily Mail, watching the fierce combat, we're like spectators in a vast, bloodied Colosseum. In a report from the Gaza Strip, the Daily Mail's reporters describe watching Israel's military like spectators in the back row of a vast and bloodied Colosseum. The Daily Telegraph, Hamas blocks the exit of foreign citizens. The US says Hamas is preventing foreign nationals, including Britons, from leaving Gaza. The Daily Telegraph reports US officials say Israel and Egypt were prepared to allow foreigners to leave the Strip, but Hamas refused to let them go, the paper says. The Financial Times, Israeli forces gradually expanding Gaza ground assault against Hamas. It says that, of course, the war is increasing, and Israel expanded its ground assault in Gaza yesterday after its Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the country was entering a new phase of its long and hard war against Hamas. It notes the Financial Times on the front page. The paper reports a record number of companies have dropped plans to list on the Shanghai stock market as regulators set higher standards for listing applications. The Daily Star, back to Hollywood. Rover, it hasn't let us down. The Star goes elsewhere. Rover knows when you get home because dogs can tell the time by smell. Whiff, whiff, woof, it says. The Daily Star says the reason why your dog is always waiting for you when you get home is because they can smell time. Wow. Fancy that. Is that something that's exciting? Your dog can smell the clock. Tick tock. Well, that's why so many people have dogs, I expect, so that a tea is ready for them when they get home. Wish my tea was ready for them when I get home. Ha! There we are. Wishful thinking. I am a bit baffled by the headlines that look after a star, no matter how much he was viewed, how fond his fans were of him, that he should take the highlight when the Israelis are moving into Gaza is a bit puzzling, to say the least. But then perhaps they take the view that we are too often ready to report on wars and violence in newspapers. But then again, that's what newspapers and the media are for, to let you know what's going on in the world. But in this particular case, it is a bit of a surprise that we haven't got the potential and the imminent invasion of Gaza, particularly since Iran is threatening muted threats as Israel, if they do actually go through, will actually trigger a full-time war, and that, who knows whether we can contain. Let's just look at the weather. Lewis weather is this is for today. It's going to reach 15 degrees, and at the moment it's 13 degrees. But sometimes you see on the news, there's Andy, the window cleaner, just going past the window. What a wonderful man, and just an icon in Lewis. Absolutely fantastic guy. They sometimes say it feels like it is X amount of degrees. It feels like, well, it's heading towards 15 degrees. Right now it's 13 degrees with a certain amount of rain, although it's not raining right at this very second, not where we are. We can expect light rain showers. But also, the weather warning has been issued and stands for rain for the rest of the day. And we are likely to get spells of rain right up until 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then even into the evening. So it is not going to be a dry day by any means. But it is now, I say 13 degrees and going on 14. But it feels like -6. It is not feeling at all warm out there at the moment. So don't be fooled by the fact that there's no rain. It is cool to say the least. For the rest of the week, we've got the same. Tomorrow, rain, 15 degrees. Wednesday, rain and 14 degrees. Thursday, a warning again of heavy rain and thunderstorms, lightning at 13 degrees. Friday, not thunderstorms, but still raining at 13 degrees. And next weekend, Saturday, 14 degrees but raining. Sunday, the 5th. Let's see, the 4th this year is bonfire because we don't have it on a Sunday. So Saturday the 4th is not a very good prospect. It looks like a damp bonfire. Sunday, the actual 5th, is only 13 degrees, starting off at 7. Quite cool. But once again, expect rain. And Monday, the 6th, yes, I'm afraid to say, it is still rain. So not a very pleasant prospect. Now, let me tell you what the time is, because it's always important to some people. It is now 9:43, and we'll just look at those headlines again in slightly more detail. Israel's ongoing ground operation in Gaza is the main news for many of the Monday's papers. The Daily Telegraph reports that Hamas is preventing foreign citizens from leaving Gaza. Westminster sources have told the paper they're concerned that at least 200 Britons and about 600 Americans are in effect being held hostage in a war zone. The issue was discussed last night in a series of phone calls between world leaders, including UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Under the headline, Middle East on Precipice, the Daily Express leads with a warning from Iran on the increasing risk that the war could spread across the region. The paper says a message from Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi, declaring that red lines have been crossed, has put the world on red alert. By golly, it has. With internet and phone communications restored in Gaza, accounts are emerging of what it was like for civilians inside the territory when links were cut for 36 hours. A mother of 4 children sheltering in an apartment in Khan Yunis tells the Times it was as if the outside world no longer existed. In the dark, with no way of accessing information, she says she had imagination, was fearing the worst. The Guardian describes people's reports, people's phones springing back into life on Sunday, inundated with updates, messages, and missed calls from family and friends. Elsewhere, the Times reports on a warning from the UK's most senior police officer, Sir Mark Rowley. The conflict has accelerated the threat of an attack here. The paper says the security risks to the UK will be at the top of the agenda at Monday's meeting of the Emergency Cobra Committee at Downing Street. The Telegraph has seen a witness statement submitted to the COVID inquiry by an Oxford epidemiologist. I've got to get that one right. Epidemiologist, which claims Boris Johnson told scientists he favoured a Swedish-style soft touch approach to the pandemic instead of lockdowns. Professor Sunetra Gupta attended a meeting with the former Prime Minister in the autumn of 2020 when cases of the virus were steadily increasing. The paper says Mr. Johnson had been persuaded by a Swedish expert that less restrictive rules would be enough to protect the vulnerable. Friends star Matthew Perry is pictured. It's on so many of the front pages following the death at the age of 54. The Guardian says that in his role as the metrosexual iconic Chandler Bing, the actor, captured the spirit of the age. The Daily Mirror says Perry's death is shocking, but not surprising. Friend to the end is the headline of the Sun. So there we are. That is what the newspapers are saying. The main theme is that we are on a precipice, that war could be imminent, and I think it depends on just exactly what Iran decides to do. Although Iran and Putin in one another's pocket. And as Melissa Conti, our correspondent in New York, said on Friday, with Putin, you can absolutely, he is predictable. And he is predictable in pursuing the grandeur of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wants. That's what he's after. And his actions will not take account of other things. So we are in a parlous state, a parlous state. And it is worrying, to say the least. It is worrying, to say the least. What we do have, we have tomorrow the All Souls Day is what I would call it, and it is being transformed into Halloween. It is becoming an increasingly popular holiday and festival here, but in the States it is huge and remarkable, and we really are going to make sure that you see what they do in the States, because according to Melissa Conti, boy, they go overboard in the way that they celebrate. Well, there you are. Is Julian. Tomorrow we actually don't broadcast the way that we normally do. We show a repeat of today, and can give you an opportunity, if you missed us, to tune in. Well, the number of people that enjoy us are growing all the time, so join the crowd. But we will actually go live for, however long it takes, for Melissa to let us know what's happening on the streets of New York on this incredible holiday that is manufactured. It's been there for the church for a long time, but it's been manufactured. and but it's lots of fun. The trick and treating part apparently came from those people who were too poor to feed themselves, would go knocking on neighbours' doors, but were too ashamed to let them know that they couldn't afford food themselves, and so they would disguise themselves. The neighbour didn't know that they were being tapped for a handout by somebody they knew. That's where that started to come from. And it wasn't until the 1800s that this festival really took off in a social sense. And even then, it started in Alberta in Canada, not in the United States at all, but it's been embraced by the States now. And many people just wouldn't miss it for anything. Okay, it's 9:52, 9:53. The headlines is the death of Neighbours star Matthew Perry, drowned in his own hot tub, and the fact that the issues in between Gaza and Israel are hotting up, and we are in big danger of seeing, never mind the Holocaust, a Holocaust, if you like, as the major nations line up for a scrap. What a tragedy if indeed we go back to war as the way of resolving anything. But you can't tell our leaders anything either, sometimes. Dear me. Okay. I'm going to say toodle pip, and then in 5 minutes I'll be back with Harry Aston, who will be coming in from France. Yes, the one that I can never find. Here it is.